Hey you guys, so for today's video, I wanted to do some kind of quick, is it gonna be quick? I wanted to do some Valentine's Day looks. So this is the first look that I'll be doing. It's kind of a little bit more simple. It's a little bit more day look, so to speak. Is any look a day look with eyelashes? Yes. It's a day look if you wear it during the day. Heyo. And then I'm gonna be bringing in my good friend Alyssa to do a more dramatic look on her. So I will leave the timestamps below depending on which tutorial you wanna watch. If you wanna watch them both, I mean, feel free. All right guys, let's do this. Cool. Okay, so I wanted to show you kind of like two different ways to use a palette because I find that a lot of people, like when they get palettes, they feel like so many of the colors are so dark and they don't know what they would use like a black eyeshadow for instance, or like a super dark brown or whatever. So I want to kind of show you guys how you can use deeper colors in a way that it looks more like a lighter wash of color. My inspo pick is this photo here. I really like that, you probably can't see it completely, but I like that her eyeshadow doesn't completely connect on that outer corner, so it makes her eyes look kind of nice and rounded rather than like super almond shaped, which is what I usually go for. And I also like that the liner was a little bit shorter as well. It wasn't like super elongated, so I'm gonna be trying to recreate something kind of like that. So for my look, because I want the colors to look a little bit lighter and not as intense and dramatic, I'm gonna set my eyeshadow base. So I'm gonna use my Pluise base because I'm trying to I'm trying to work through this, man. I'm gonna grab it on a little buffing brush and I'm just going to put that all over the lid. Then I'm just gonna take a powder that's close to my skin tone and I am just going to pat that all the way over. So today I'm gonna be using the Pat McGrath, what's the name of this one? It's the bronze one, I think, this one. I'm gonna grab this shade right here. I'm gonna take that on a Smith 230 brush and I'm just going to literally dot in ever so slightly to that shadow. I'm gonna be building up super slowly and I'm also going to be just barely touching this brush to my skin. So if you're somebody that struggles with, patchiness and stuff like that, and your eyeshadow not looking super nice and blended, it could be truly so many things. But I do think there's a really big emphasis on more is more kind of thing on YouTube. And I find that that's just really tricky if you're somebody that, isn't as skilled with makeup right now, or maybe you just don't get what people are doing in between to kind of fix things up. That's where I come in with exceedingly boring looks to, make everything easier for you. So I'm just really slowly building up that color with super light pressure, and I'm just placing it right in that crease. And I'm not bringing it down to that lash line to create kind of like an outer V like we normally would. And then I'm just swapping it out for a clean brush every now and again to start blending it out. Then I'm gonna grab a Sigma E47 brush and I'm going to grab this dark brown shade here. Same thing with this, I'm gonna pick up the tiniest little bit. I'm just literally dotting my brush into that shadow. I'm not swirling it around or anything. And same thing, I'm gonna go with a really, really light pressure. You always want to put down your brush first where you want the most pigmentation. And then when I feel happy with that, I'm taking some more of that lighter color that we used and I'm blending over top of that. And then if you ever feel like you've gone too dark with your eyeshadow and you do want to lighten it up a bit, you can always take a big fluffy brush and just a eyeshadow that kind of matches your skin tone and you can just sweep over top of it. So with that, you're kind of lightening up that shadow, but you're also helping to smooth out that gradient if you struggle with blending. I feel like I can't be informational and funny at the same time. So, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna go in one direction or the other. I don't know what to say. Same thing, if you're new to eyeshadow, I always would recommend starting with your light color and then working your way up to dark. I see a lot of people kind of going in with the most intense color first and then blending over top with lighter shades to create a gradient. I think that's totally fine and it can look super beautiful, but it is a little bit trickier. So if you are struggling with your application, not looking even or blending out patchy or whatever, it may be worth it for you to just start with your lighter shades instead. And that way as well, you can kind of take the look to the intensity that you want it because, I could stop right here and just go in with my liner, or I can go ahead and like add in a little bit of a darker shade there. Whatever you feel, man, this is your world. I'm just living in it. And the thing is, you can use one eyeshadow to create a nice gradient. Like even there we have kind of a nice little gradient to that. And if I took a smaller, denser brush with that same shadow, I could create an even darker kind of gradient to it. You know what I mean? When you're blending, it's always kind of nice to jump back to the color and the brush that you used before. You don't even have to pick up any more product, but you can just use what's left over on that brush rather than trying to continue to blend out with the brush that you just applied your darker color with. Ooh, it looks like her eyeliner's kind of smoky too, so maybe I'll do that too. Okay, this is gonna be a challenge for me, but we're all just gonna believe in me and it's gonna go from there. I'm gonna take my Dose of Colors gel eyeliner and I'm going to panic. That's a key part of doing your eyeliner. The eyeliner can sense your cockiness. Okay, I'm gonna take that on my little angle brush. This is still gonna be thicker on that outer corner, but I don't want to elongate it too much. So I'm not going to start by going upwards like I normally would. I'm gonna start by kind of pressing that liner right nice and close to the lash line. And then I'm gonna take my Real Techniques accent brush and I'm going to literally just buff over top of that liner. That's gonna make it kind of nice and diffused and smoky looking. And you can also use the leftover product to kind of buff it between your upper lashes there. So if you're somebody that has a hard time tightlining, but you notice that you have a really like visible upper line, what would you call that? Upper waterline? Yeah. You can kind of use that brush to sort of buff it in between those lashes to sort of darken the appearance without having to add liner to your actual waterline. Now time to do just a little wing. So I'm not bringing that up too high. Because remember, we're also going to be blending over top of it, so that blending is going to extend the length of your wing. If the gel liner that you're using isn't super dark, you can go over top of that with a black shadow, but you certainly don't have to if it's working for you. It's a nice little light wing action. Wow. I look date ready, but do I look like this girl? Maybe after lashes. This same technique also works with a pencil eyeliner, so if you don't have a gel liner, you can totally just kind of quickly run a pencil eyeliner on and then just whoop, blend it out, man. Okay, I'm gonna go pop the rest of my makeup on and then I'm gonna jump back and we can finish up these eyes. Okay, we have the rest of our makeup on. I took my little hair towel out. I'm gonna grab just a little bit of MAC's Nylon, which is just kind of a light shimmery color. And I'm going to bring that along my brow bone. And then same thing, I'm gonna grab that and bring it into the inner corner. And then our nice friend here doesn't look like she has a ton of eyeshadow underneath, but I'm gonna add just a tiny little bit. So I'm taking that first color we used, the lightest brown shade in the palette, just barely dipping my brush into that, and then I'm gonna go underneath my eye bag. If you can't beat your eye bags, join them. It makes you look like a model. For our lips, I wanted to kind of mix a little color. I'm gonna take the Maybelline Gigi Hadid lipsticks in the color Erin and the color Taura, and I'm gonna kind of just mix them together, you know? Just got my little lip brush here, and I'm just going to see how this looks. Oh yes, it's perfectly my lip color. I'm gonna overline my lips a little bit because it's Valentine's Day and I'm trying to entice a mate. Just kidding, Matt, that was a joke. So this is our first look. I'm gonna bring in my good friend ALYSSA and we're gonna do a more dramatic look on her. So if you guys wanna see that, you can watch the video. It's going to happen right now. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna be using the same palette and I'm just gonna be doing a more dramatic look on her. I'm gonna start with my Pluise base. Just putting that base all over. Oh right, you have your little eyelash extensions on. Oh. I'll try and be careful.
No, please don't.
Oh, please don't. Specifically, don't be careful.
I literally woke up at like 2 in the morning and one of them was attached to the inside of my eyeball. Ugh. I had to like fish it out. Yeah, it was really bad.
Okay, cool, great.
Yeah. Do you feel like my eyelids are saggier? I feel like they are when I first get Botox.
Like saggier?
Like my muscles are dragging them down.
No, I know what saggy means. I'm like saying like from what like.
I don't know. I feel like it's harder for me to like open my eyeball.
Oh, saggier. Adjective. Okay, I'm gonna start with the same color we used before, this lighter brown color. And I'm going to load that up on the brush quite a bit more than we did with the other one, because we're going dramatique. And I'm going to press that onto the lid. And I'm just gonna take a slightly lighter shade and I'm going to buff it over top. And I'm bringing that lighter color all the way into our inner corner crease area. I'm gonna take a little bit of that darker shade that we had, the darker brown. It's kind of like a plummy color. And I'm gonna bring that onto our outer corner. I'm starting on that outer corner close to the lash line, and then I'm kind of just buffing it on with my brush. So I'm loading up the color on one side of this brush since it's a little tapered. I'm not kind of putting it right on the top, but right here, so that when I press it against the eye, it's only depositing shadow in that shape. And then I'm just gonna take a brush and blend over this. What would you do if I burped in your freaking face? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna grab this shade right here, but I'm gonna start with the Too Faced Glitter Glue. Oh, that does feel like a glue coming out of that tube.
Like a glue stick or like white glue?
You know, I hadn't thought that far.
Okay.
And I'm going to put it on her eyeball.
What is that like to work with?
Oh, it's very sticky. So it's not my favorite. Wow. I asked you what it would be like, and then you burp in my face. After you know how upset you would be.
I thought it was gonna be silent.
You were gonna silently sneak burp in my face? Oh my god, get over it. Okay, now I'm gonna take that rose gold color and I'm gonna pack it on over top of this horrible glitter glue.
Oh, don't say that.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Too Faced is like Alyssa's fave brand.
But like weirdly so, because I never, like...
She didn't mean for it to happen.
Yeah, it was just over time, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna take a tiny little baby brush.
Say it.
Hakuhodo brush. And and I'm going to just go through and line it a little more for intensity's sake. Because Alyssa has a little bit less lid space, I didn't want to go in with the dark color before putting on that glitter, just so that we could kind of map it out and make sure that we're keeping that dark shadow as low as possible. Then I'm gonna go in and take my Sigma E47 brush and I'm going to use that as a small little blending brush. And when I'm getting into those tighter areas, I kind of hold the brush more perpendicular so that I'm not dragging it down onto that glitter shadow. Ooh, that glitter shadow's cracking. How strange.
What are your Valentine's Day plans?
We're going to Hawksworth.
Wow.
Yeah, they're doing like a vegetarian menu for me.
That's pretty bossy. I see that you didn't ask if we wanted to have a couple's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I do have a fiance, so. I think he was kind of under the impression that it would sort of be our couple's thing.
Glenn and I'll book a table next to yours.
You should. I'm taking a nice light pink shadow, and I'm just going to buff over all of that. Okay, I'm taking a little bit of our dark shadow, and I'm just going to pat it over top. And then I'm just using the shadow that's left on the brush to kind of wing that shadow up a little bit more. Oh wow, that was a loud meow. Oh god.
My poor baby boy.
Okay, do you want winged eyeliner?
What do you think?
What do you feel in your heart?
In my heart of hearts?
Yeah.
What? Close your eyes. What do you got going on?
I have a winged eyeliner going on.
What do you do? Like a little soft one.
A little soft one.
I don't know. I could fuck up a wing eyeliner,
She could fuck up a wing eyeliner.
Or I could not. It's up to you, really.
Oh wow, that's where does that leave us? Maybe I'll do like a super thin one. I'm gonna grab a little bit of gel eyeliner. I'm gonna keep it nice and tight to that lash line. Hopefully I'm not covering it. I don't know if I am gonna do a winged eyeliner. Don't want to cover up all this eyeshadow. Okay, I'm gonna pop on her lashes and then we will jump back. Oh wow, movie magic. We're back.
Oh, I'm still eating my Skittle.
Oh, come on.
I do.
I gave you more than enough time. Okay, look straight up. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that darker shadow underneath the lash line. And then I'm gonna take that kind of light pink shade we used. I'm just using the Natasha Denona Safari palette in conjunction with our other palette. So the two most expensive palettes I own, enjoy. And I'm just kind of buffing that bottom shadow out with that light pink. And the lashes we use for Alyssa are those ones from Kiss that I've been loving so much. Okay, so this is the final look on Alyssa. Oh, I forgot to put on highlighter. Okay, now we're done. This is the more dramatic Valentine's Day look on Miss Alyssa Anderson. Basically what we did here, to make it a little more dramatic, a little more intense, we didn't set the eyeshadow base before we started. We just went right in with those shadows to make them a lot more darker and pronounced and intense. Went in with that glitter glue to make sure that the shimmery shadow was nice and intense and pigmented. Obviously a nice pair of crazy lashes, and then pretty much that's it.
That's all she wrote.
And then I just replicated the skin I do on myself on Alyssa. That's it, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.
Alyssa, thanks for joining.
Thank you. Are we doing the sign off?
Here's one.
Or are you gonna sign off?
Well, I
without
already
me?
did my outro, but if you want,
Oh,
I'm gonna
rude.
go hard.
Yeah, okay. Oh, wait. Hold on. Something. I hope you learned something cool
Something.
today. What do we usually say?
Thanks for hanging out and chatting.
Do you not say, I hope you learned something cool today?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I fucking
Alright,
hope
you guys,
you learned
that's
something cool
everything.
today.
Thanks for hanging out and chatting. I hope you learned something cool today. I'll see
See
you
you in my
next time.
next. Oh.
Peace
Oh. Mwah.
Beautiful.